The Maya Kowalski trial. If you guys have been watching Law and Lumber, it's the Take Care of Maya trial. It's Maya Kowalski and her family versus Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital down in Tampa. Basically, what did we learn? Well, she had a medical issue that was this very weird, kind of like obscure medical condition that she was receiving treatment for. They took her to Johns Hopkins Hospital in Tampa, and their quack doctor, which Dr. Smith, I'm calling you a quack, because honey, you whatever you thought you were doing, you know, you need to have that "Am I the baddie?" moment, because what you did was really bad. They brought this child in, and the hospital staff said, "Oh my God, this is Munchausen by proxy, and it's child abuse." And they get social workers involved, those brave social workers involved, who then proceed to strip the child naked and have her in a room where they take pictures of her that were not used for diagnostic purposes, were not used in any action by Children's Services, and just sat in a file somewhere. And then one of the social workers, kind of like very, I guess tried to pull a veto, while this girl's sitting there and she's partially naked in a room, is sitting there hugging her, kissing her, and bouncing her on her lap. Yeah, no, guys, you're some of you are out there thinking like, wow, this sounds really weird. I'm giving you like the crash course in this. It gets worse. They basically isolate the kid from her family. The family tries to provide her with her religious things, including communion. They throw it away. They lock the kid in a room where she's like, it hurts, I can't walk. They put her in a room where she has to try to get up to walk to go to the bathroom because they wanted to see if it was fake. In the meantime, this Dr. Smith is like, oh, it's child abuse. I know it is. I know it is. These administrators and scumbags denied her mom the ability to even see her or interact with her in any way, shape, or form, and caused so many problems and emotional distress in this woman, she killed herself. Literally, Maya Kowalski's mom killed herself. This whole thing was a disaster. Eventually, they did release her, and they're like, oh, I guess it was this rare disease, and it wasn't. They're like, oops, sorry. In the meantime, they then also were quietly billing hundreds of thousands of dollars for this obscure disease she has, and lied about it. So the Kowalskis sued them. And the funny thing is, hospital like, we did nothing wrong. We were perfect. Well, the jury didn't see it that way. The jury awarded today about $238 million worth of damages. And if you guys hadn't seen it, it was an absolute... Oh, that shame says, oh, they just came back with $50 million in punitive damages. So close to $300 million, which, I mean, a lot of, when I listened to the whole thing, there's like 40 some counts where they go through and award damages, a couple $100,000 here, a couple million here, there. When it gets to the loss of this family lost their mother, $50 million, $18 million, $50 million. I mean, this jury smacked up the hospital, and rightly so. And it's really tragic to watch this family sit there as they know, none of this is going to help them, but it's some slight level of vindication. I mean, and here you go. It's only a minute long, but this is the very beginning of it. I mean, this is Maya. This is her brother. I mean, it's the family here finding out what the jury's going to award, and you can just listen to them. And if you listen to the whole thing, your heart breaks for this family. I mean, this girl right here was abused by this hospital and the people in it. And they abused her so badly, not even on top, like aside from her mother committing suicide because they were just complete scumbags. They abused this girl so badly. It boggles the mind that nobody is in jail for this. No one's faced any charges. No one's had their licenses revoked or anything like that. Nope, just, it's sorry, oopsie poopsie. Here's Maya and her family.
Verdict form. We, the jury, return the following verdict. Claim 1, false imprisonment, October 7th through October 13th, 2016, Maya Kowalski. 1. The Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital falsely imprisoned Maya Kowalski without legal authority under circumstances that were unreasonable and unwarranted between October 7th and October 13th, 2016? Yes. 2. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for the medical and psychological expenses to be incurred in the future after she reaches the age of 18 based on the false imprisonment occurring between October 7th and October 13th, 2016? $2,496,000.
And it just goes from there. They just start awarding damages. And I get some of you guys are saying, well, how did the hospital didn't? No, the hospital, all this shit happens. And then the hospital says, no, we did nothing wrong. They got caught lying on their billing, fraudulently billing. They claim everything they did was above board, but they engaged in fraudulent billing. They defrauded an insurance company. They did a lot of stuff. Like, at some point, it's the way they treated this girl was absolutely insane. And they didn't even apologize for it. It was just absolutely ridiculous. I watched the entire trial, and that's in no way this was abuse, battery, or anything else. The wrong doctors got sued. They should have gone to the doctor who started the ketamine treatment. Why? That was a valid treatment for the action. This Dr. Smith, I'm the child abuse. This lady's been sued out the ass. Like, she's not good at her job. No, the doctors at the hospital fucked this all up. Why were they throwing out her Eucharist? Why were they throwing away things in the trash, denying mom visitation, doing things they were not allowed to do, operating outside their scope? If you're operating within the rules, fine. But these guys weren't operating within the rules. They basically admit that. Well, we thought we were trying. Yeah, no, nope, not going for it, not going for it. Patty's saying they threw Eucharist in the trash. Yeah, they did. Yep. Regardless of the fact it's Eucharist, but any sort of religious thing like that in ceremony, they basically said, fuck off. Yeah, they did a lot of bullshit to this family. View Galaxy says, I don't get how they didn't settle out of court. This trial was a PR disaster. They thought they were in the right. Nope, we did nothing wrong. Nope, we tried. I think they believed the John Coffey defense that we done trying hard, boss. Boss man, that sick kid coming to the hospital, we'd be like, that kid's sick, we gonna heal him. So we just like John Coffey, stuck our hands on top of her while she's naked, taking pictures of her. Don't need them, but we're gonna heal that child. Well, oopsie poopsie, didn't work. Sorry. No, they thought they were the good guys. That's why they didn't. So, what year this happened a couple years ago. Alpha saying, not that dose, the ketamine therapy was way inappropriate. Okay. But like them, they're following a doctor's order. That's not Munchausen by proxy, which this doctor thought it was. The kid actually had the sickness, and then they're just like, well, I guess she does. We better hide all our billing underneath that. Everything they did is not indicative of somebody who thinks they're doing something right. They got caught and they tried to hide. Yeah, it's 2016, 2017 is when this all happened. And like I said, you guys are, yes, the ketamine, this, that. What about the rest of it? The rest of it is also highly problematic. This thing that constituted false imprisonment, they didn't have any reason to keep her there. These lunatics in the hospital running amok. That's a problem that, like, you can't answer. Like, what's the answer to that? Well, they tried. Oops, sorry. We didn't know what we were doing. Sorry, we held your kid unlawfully. Sorry we took your kid and made him strip, and then we sat there hugging and kissing him and like holding him all awkwardly in a back room somewhere. And yeah, we took pictures and like they sat in a file. Like, you have to add all this up. It's not just one incident. This is an entire cascading event of bullshit that kept going. Like, to act like at some point, nobody in that hospital said, wow, we're really fucking this up. No, none of them. Nobody stood up and said, wow, this is wrong. We should stop. That's why they're being punished. That's a shame saying even if the ketamine was wrong, even if her mom did have an MVP, it doesn't change a single count. Yeah. I mean, really, and even if you wanted to take out the ketamine stuff, and okay, fine, the misdiagnosis, you're following a doctor's orders, like, oh, that's Munchausen. Like, sorry. The rest of what they did to that girl still doesn't make any sense. Alpha Fox saying the mom lying about Addison's, O2 SATs, other disorders, Munchausen by proxy and conversion were on different diagnoses. Two things could be true at once, and many docs look at CRPS like fibromyalgia. Sure. But then at the end, when they cut her loose and they billed dad, they're like, oh, it's CRPS. Sorry. And then they billed him for it. And they did it fraudulently. I mean, once again, you can get, like I said, if you want to come up with all these things that happened out there, what about the rest of what they did? Like, you have to look at what they did in its entirety because they operated in its entirety. They did a million things wrong here. So that's why it's hard to say. It's kind of like Amber Heard. She didn't just like almost cut Johnny Depp's fingers off with a whiskey bottle. She did a million things, including taking a dump in his bed. I mean, you have to look at the totality of the circumstances. Get that context. So yeah, that was a very interesting thing. I'm sure they're going to try to appeal this, but I just don't think it's going to go well for him. I don't think it's going to go well.